What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, kicking it with you guys on some prison talk. Live stream today. We got Dance Mom. Want to send a shout out to everybody who's been supporting and telling your friends, man. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. We got the dopest channel on YouTube. Let everybody know that we got it cracking, man. Tell your people to check us out. Also, check out our Instagram. Subscribe to our Instagram. We're going to have some cool shit coming up on Instagram. And also our Twitter, which Instagram and Twitter are both Fresh Out Series. Also, we have Patreon, which we're going to be adding some new prison spread videos. And that's patreon.com, patreon.com. We're going to have some cool stuff going on. We got Chef V on there. I'm working on getting him back on the show so we can get some new stuff jumping off. Also, we got SoundCloud. We got Fresh Out Series on SoundCloud, so check us out. Make sure you guys go to our website too. We got some cool shit on the website. We got some cool hats, some cool shirts, some apparel. That's freshoutseries.com. freshoutseries.com. Check us out. If you're going to be going to do some time, you don't get that wig split, don't want your cheeks busted. For you white collar guys, blue collar guys, I know you could probably handle your business, but your white collar guys, you're scared to death. We do one-on-one consulting. Holler at us. Shoot us an email at freshoutseries@gmail.com. Also, if you want to advertise with us, hit us up at freshoutseries@gmail.com, and we can work something out so you can get it cracking on our page. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I know a lot of y'all been watching probably the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and some of you guys watching baseball. But for the most part, a lot of shit going on worldwide. You got Trump running around talking to people in Israel and over in the Middle East, Muslim leaders. But I like to keep you guys entertained with the Prison Talk live stream on Mondays. Add a little humor to some of the conversation. So we got Dance Mom Abby Lee Miller. She made, famous for teaching the girls how to dance and having the dance studios. Well, she's got sentenced to 366 days in federal prison for money laundering. I guess apparently she filed bankruptcy, but they said that she hid $775,000 from creditors in her personal account. So that's what's up. So she's been ordered to serve a year in the feds, which off a year, she'll probably do 85%. And from there, she has to pay a $40,000 fine. And she has a $120,000 judgment against her. Now, she's going to most likely a camp like Martha Stewart. Her case, you got a lot of guys who are doing the same shit she's doing. And I'm pretty sure because she's a female, she's pretty high profile. They're making an example out of her. They said she owed $400,000 in back taxes, but by filing BK and not disclosing all her finances, she actually committed a federal crime. And she also, they said, brought in $120,000 worth of Australian money, didn't claim it, and they got her for that. So, Abby Lee Miller, 50 years young, got a lot of game. She gonna be up in there with, the homegirls kicking it. You guys think she'll get her wig split or get them cheeks busted? You know what I'm saying? I don't think she'll have any problems personally, because at that age, you're considered an OG. And a lot of the women are most likely going to be looking up to her for some game. Abby Lee Miller got that game, man. She's had multiple studios. She's made millions of dollars for networks. She's probably personally pocketed, some millions, just maybe mismanaged some funds. But, Abby Lee Miller, she's a hustler. She's about her bread. I would love to get her on the show when she gets out of prison for her comeback. Abby Lee Miller, holler at us. We would love to get you on the show for Fresh Out Life After and, share your story with the realest show on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Holler at us. But anyways, I think you'll do all right. You ain't going to have any problems with anybody trying to rape you or take your cheeks or anything like that. You got them old school cheeks, so you probably get a pass on them things. You might have a couple women trying to warm up to you to be a mother figure. You know what I'm saying? You can use that to your advantage for some protection. So that's a good thing. But get in there, do your exercise. You're a beautiful woman. Drop some weight, and get out and reinvent yourself. Prison, it could do a number of things for people. It could make you really look at life and the people who you thought had your back, or it can make you bitter and make you come out a more miserable person. So it just kind of depends on what you do with your time, who you socialize with, how you look at life from there, and if you put the blame on others or if you take responsibility for yourself. Now, I don't know if you're taking responsibility for what you did, or if you're trying to blame it on your accountant, on your business manager, or the network, or whoever the case may be. But owning up to it is the first step on rehabilitating yourself and getting your mind right, and not playing the victim. Because come on, man, you got a lot of smart people around you. You pretty much, you got a lot of people in your ear. There's certain things you can and can't do. So just own up to it, take responsibility for it, and you'll be all right. Ain't nobody gonna bust some cheeks. Exercise, get them burpees in. You know what I'm saying? Get them squats in. You'll be all right. You come out, ready to do business and get you another show and make more money. It's obvious you got some type of intellect and game about yourself, or you wouldn't have made it this far. You made it a lot further than a lot of other women out there who are hustling. So turn this into an enterprise and flip it like Martha Stewart did it. You know what I'm saying? So Abby Miller, hey, handle your business, hold your head up, holler at Fresh Out when you get out so we can get you on the show, and do your time, and you'll be all right, man. 8 months, you do 85% off of your sentence, so you should be out in 8 months. And before you look up, it's gonna be time to go home. You know what I'm saying? So let's I'm gonna do the shout outs at the very end. But who got some Abby Miller questions? You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, do they have a lot of women in prison? There's quite a few. If you guys haven't seen the Yvette Moran story on our YouTube channel, Fresh Out Life After Penitentiary, on the same channel right now you're watching, we have Yvette Moran, and she did time in a women's prison. Women's prison is no fucking joke in the state. I don't know about the feds. The camp is la la land. But in the state, you got some women emotionally fucked up that are on some really angry shit. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing fucking oil on each other at nighttime. I'm talking about heating up shit in the microwave, tossing it on them if you're snoring, beating each other's ass. You know what I'm saying? Taking, making other bras become they bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's women's prison is a lot more, I would say, a lot more gangster than a men's prison when it comes to taking cheeks. And a women's prison, that's why they got to cut the bananas in half. You know what I'm saying? They using those things. Hey man, they playing with that thing up in there, and they going hard in the paint. And it's more socially acceptable for a woman to be on another woman than it is for sword fighting going on. Penis to penis. So in the women's prison, you know what I'm saying, women that are that would consider themselves straight are still getting down. But women busting cheeks, they busting cheeks. They rubbing tacos. They got the taco stand jumping off up in there. And I know some guy, male prison guard, they said they worked up in there and they get straight shows. They go to do count, man, and they be, it might be a 69 going down. It might be a cold webcam show going down, you know what I'm saying? And, you got dudes in there, especially the male guards, fucking them women up in there. You know what I'm saying? They breaking them off. You know what I'm saying? So it's going down in women's prison, man. A lot more than in a men's prison. Like you said, yeah, they do got a lot of carpet rubbing. It's there's a lot of friction jumping off with the you know what I'm saying, with the tacos, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's happening up in there. But Abby Miller, you know, I don't think she have to worry about eating any tacos or, you know, doing any oyster diving or anything like that. She should be all right, you know what I'm saying? She should be, if anything, teaching a class in there on how to get your kids in a dance class so she can, you know, hustle. Abby Miller, somebody said, what did Abby do to go to prison? Well, they said she filed BK, but didn't disclose all her finances and tried to hide $720,000. And she also brought in $120,000 from Australia that she didn't claim. You could bring in up to $10,000 in this country without claiming it. Anything over that, you got to actually claim the money. So, you know, that's what's happening. So she got it 366 days. I don't know when she's going in, but it's been news. And, you know, it's a female going to prison. And like I said, you know, these guys like to make examples of high-profile people, especially Hollywood figures, when they can sometimes because of maybe she pissed somebody off. I don't know what the case is, but, you know, I think it's pretty petty, you know what I'm saying, for what she's going to jail for. Yeah, somebody said licking ass cracks. Yeah, they doing that up in there too, you know what I'm saying? You know, we call oyster to brown eye, you know what I'm saying? They got that cracking off. But, yeah, Abby Miller, she should be all right, you know what I'm saying? Get it, girl. Get your money up in there. Teach you a class, you know, exercise, and other inmates are gonna probably be looking up to you because you've accomplished a lot of things they dreamed of accomplishing. But yeah, she shouldn't have to split no wigs. It won't be too much wig splitting where she's at. You know what I'm saying? Female prisons. I mean, the camps where she's gonna be at because she has no criminal record. And you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be pretty peaceful up in there. So it'd be a quick little stint for her. Somebody said, would I split her wig? No, I wouldn't split her wig, man. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'd try to get some game from her on how to make that dance money, you know what I'm saying, on the side. And you know, she got them cheeks, you know, them big cheeks up in there. She always be hiding in those baggy pants. But anyways, yeah, man. So let's see what you guys got tuned in. I got some questions popping up here. Somebody said, is it easy to get fiend books in prison? If you have a hookup with a guard, you can get fiend books. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned before, fuck books in prison are worth a lot of fucking money. You can rent them things out for $5 a night, $10 a night. You know what I mean? You can make money off of a butt man, you know what I'm saying? Or a hardcore, whatever the case may be, magazine. So those are valued up in there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can slang those books in there for $300-$400, you know? Hot commodities, you know what I'm saying? Fuck books. You know, jack that pee off, fuck book. You understand? I hope you do. But anyways, yeah, man, that's the big thing. Somebody said, you know anything about personal for prison El Chapo? Somebody said, do I know anything about the prison El Chapo is in? Nah, I don't know where they got El Chapo, and I would imagine they're gonna put him where they put John Gotti and a lot of the other whole high-profile individuals at that level, criminals, what they consider to be a criminal, and that's Marion, where you know your visiting is very limited. You're locked down pretty much all the time. It's just really fucked up, and you don't have access to a lot of the, you know, general population material, you know, which keeps it, you know, keeps you very limited. So, you know, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got him, and, you know, somebody else is going to take his place, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, somebody's asking, let me see, who gets it worse in prison, Chomo or somebody else? Chomo would probably get it the worst in prison, man. Chomo or somebody who's like beat up an old person. You know, Chomo fucking with them kids, you will get your wig split and probably your cheeks busted in the same day. So you're gonna be in pretty bad shape if you a motherfucking Chomo that's fuck with some kids, man. Because that's not to be accepted. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know, also fucking with old people, man. You don't fuck with old people like that. They ain't did nothing wrong. They living their life. You do shit to old people, man. You got something coming to you. You know what I'm saying? let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, man. What happens on your first day in prison? First day in prison. Somebody asked me this question on an email too. First day in prison. First day in prison, you get your bedroll, you get assigned your cell, and you're assigned whatever unit you're in. And most prisons are divided into multiple units, and within those units they have cells and they have tiers. So you go in, if you're on a gang profile, they're not gonna put a Crip in with a Blood, or Blood in with a Crip, or Norteño in with a Sereno, or a Paisa in with a Norteño, or they usually ask you who you want to sell up with. And a lot of times as soon as you hit the yard at booking or intake, they're gonna have word out that, hey man, we got a new homie on the yard, blah 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 blah, and they'll kind of give you the heads up. And in every unit, there's somebody who represents whatever race in that unit. So you know what I'm saying, that's usually how it goes down. And then they'll from there, once you get situated, then you can work on moving to another cell. Somebody probably bring you a care package, look out for you. And that's how it goes down your first day, man. You pretty much just getting your laundry together, your bedroll, your cell, and figuring out what the program is. Somebody says you made fun of a kid. Somebody said, did people make fun of you when the way you talk when you were a kid? How did you deal with it? I always see people always say like, oh, I thought this guy was white before I seen the video, and he talks with a lisp. He talks like Mike Tyson, this and that. I really never really gave a fuck. You know what I mean? Because I was a motherfucking wig splitter when I was growing up. I would fight. I wasn't no nigga that would go cry to his mommy and ask, oh, I'm getting bullied. No, I'll pick a rock up, and when you're not looking, put it in my backpack, and I'll bust you upside the fucking head. And that's how I would handle shit when I was a kid, man. My mom said if somebody's bigger than me, pick something up and hit them. You know what I mean? Don't take no shit. So as far as the list, I've always had this, but I mean, it ain't never hindered me because I was a straight A student and I read a lot of books growing up, and I wasn't a motherfucker out there just in the streets being ignorant. So I was always an intelligent person. So I never really let the way I talk hinder me from getting ahead. Being big and black and talking, articulating yourself in a certain way, not talking in a certain slang. People have a tendency to assume certain things. Well, assuming will get your wig split. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much, let niggas know that if you got a problem, we can handle it. But I never really had any issues. And, if I need to address a certain demographic a certain way, I know how to do that. But I also know how to, talk the corporate talk if I need to. Somebody said, what do I think about Cali Muscle? He's the homie. That's shout out to Cali Muscle. Me and him, but he did one of our first interviews, man. He helped, get fresh out cracking. So Cali Muscle, shout out to you, homie. Somebody says, could you sell your art if you paint well in prison? Yes. Art is another big hustle in prison. If you can draw, if you can paint, man, you can make a good living in prison, man. You can do portraits. That's worth a lot of money. Portraits is, the cheapest might be $100 and something dollars, upwards of a couple $100. So guys make a lot of money doing portraits. Also, if you can write well, writing poetry, writing, different things that are very romantic. Guys will pay you to write stuff for their feet so they can give to their female. So a lot of guys don't even have their GED in prison. They didn't graduate from school. They barely went to school to begin with. So, if you're articulate and you can write, you can basically sell your writing to people and make money off that shit. It's a cold hustle. So, it's just no different on the street. The best hustle for someone with no talent. Shit, if you ain't got no talent, man, you might just be a motherfucker that's got to learn how to just dig ditches or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody has a talent. I don't give a fuck. Maybe maybe you could, if you can't draw, if you can't sing, if you can't, you're not buff, if you're not good looking, I mean, you have something you can do. Maybe you can paint, paint cars or do body work, or maybe make something, build stuff. Prison, you learn a lot about talents you never knew you had. And so by the time you get out, you will have honed in on something that you can do that will allow you to make money. So best believe, Hustle 101 with Big Herc, you'll find your motherfucking hustle if you have one in prison, and be able to, if you're smart, take that to the streets and get paid off of it. Somebody said, do I still flip cars? Yeah, I'm still flipping the cars. I have, the last car I flipped was a 2006 Harley truck for the homie. So, I'm still fucking with the cars. Got a couple old schools I'm working on. I know I'm going to do a follow-up on the Chevelle here in a minute. I haven't filmed it yet. I just got it back last week. And I'm going to do another follow-up probably on the Cougar and some other cars. But I'm still fucking with the cars. If I see a good deal, I try to jump on it. And, the best thing to do is find something that, I fuck with old school. So you try to find something that doesn't need too much work, that you can kind of get a good deal on, and then turn around and slap like another 2Gs on it and make you a quick hustle, quick profit. A lot of times you're not going to double your money in the car game. You can go to auctions, get good deals, but the object of the game is to move volume. And if you can make 500 to 1,000, 1,500 per car, if you could do 500 and you move, 50 cars, then hey, you're making some good money. So you want to focus on volume. Somebody said, do you take a shank to the bathroom? Yeah, if you're in a dorm situation and you got a lot of motherfucking enemies up in that dorm, or potential enemies, or just motherfuckers that are knuckleheads, keep that shit in your boot. Check out the shower issue when I talk about going to the bathroom and having the shank in your boot. Stay strapped up. Hit that shitter. Make sure you flush when you shit. Don't fart out loud. You might get your wig split. Don't nobody want to smell those funky cheeks. Somebody said, Herc, do guys take bets on which guy will get cracked first? I used to be able to point out the dudes who were going to get their wig split within a matter of weeks. There's some dudes that come in there, they bouncing around, Yeah, motherfucking whoop whoop wop, I'm from so-and-so, so-and-so. And they claiming some hood ain't nobody ever heard of, in some town ain't nobody ever been to. But the thing is, motherfuckers will background check. And if you claim in a certain hood, like if you say you're Crippin' and you from somewhere in motherfucking a part of Washington or St. Louis, don't nobody else there know you where you're from, and you try to mix it in with the other Crips, but you is not cut like that, nigga. I seen motherfuckers whoop them, nigga, during the dice game, stuff them in a fucking mop closet, and didn't nobody know he was in there till count time. So if you're trying to be a gangbanger and you talking all that loud shit, and you running your mouth, most likely you're hiding something, motherfuckers will find out about you and you get your wig split. I've seen it. So yeah, man. Somebody said, is it easy to spot a snitch? No, you don't know. There's dudes, I seen dudes, man, on the yard that were like, reputable dudes, you thought, calling shots, pushing the line. And what I mean by that is like, yeah, motherfucker, whoop, 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 nigga, get out of pocket, tell so-and-so we need to holler at him, and nigga, so-and-so need to go up top, and blah, 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 blah. And come to find out, this nigga's hot. Somebody find out about his case, and he told on somebody to get 15 years. So, you never know. So a lot of these motherfuckers talk a good game, man. And, be full of shit. It's just, you never know, man. And I've seen dudes who were, and they've been on the yard for a minute, man, and was talking shit, and somebody else show up and expose their ass. So watch what you say around people, man, because a lot of these dudes be talking. They not cut like that. They full of shit. They claiming stuff, and, they'll show you pictures. This is how motherfucker gets a lot of people, man. They show pictures of Lolos, Europeans, females they had on the street, You know what I'm saying? They go to visit and they look all fly. So you think, oh, this motherfucker, he's a boss. You know what I'm saying? They go to commissary real big. That same motherfucker, man, might be a hot boy. So unless, keep your circle small. And that's why I had a tendency not to want to hang out with, like, once I got to the pen, a lot of groups of motherfuckers, because there's a lot of pieces of shit hiding out in them groups. And they can do that because they blend in and, they're gathering info. Maybe they're trying to work time off their case or anything, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, so you got to watch out. No, I wasn't in the gang in prison. And then somebody said, do I regret anything about the porn industry? Nah, man. Shit. I was a coochie assassin in that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I was a pussy terrorist, you know what I'm saying? The porn game, man, when I got out of YA, when I was 21, I hadn't had any sex from 18 to 21. Actually, I did. I fucked when I was at fire camp. I got a pass and shit, and I busted some motherfucking coochie down on a pass and shit. That shit was cool. But anyways, when I got out and, I had to make up for lost time, I was 21. Shit, man, I was having the time of my life, man. I was fucking, back then, the porn convention in Vegas was cracking. You know what I'm saying? It was, fucking no internet yet. So it was like people had to show up to meet the stars. And it was those are the golden days, man. You know what I mean? I wasn't making a bunch of money, but I was happy to be fucking. And then when I got back into the game, I left it for a little while, got into the hustle game, slanging, went back into the game in like 99. And, I had a blast, man. No regrets. I'm married now. I'm happy with wifey, but I don't, I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about the industry or hate on the fact that I was fucking a lot of women, man. Hey, man, it was a beautiful thing, man. Ain't nothing with nothing busting down some coochie, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting your butt licked, sucking on some clitoris. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who tries to say, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up, because it's every man's fantasy to fuck and fuck and fuck and fuck. So if you don't like pussy, nigga, you on some old cheek busting, you like to have your cheeks with some motherfucking, some dildo up in that motherfucker, because if you don't like pussy, something wrong. You know what I mean? I love pussy. But anyways, those are good days. Yeah, man, but, let me see, what else, the cuckold, you know about that. I did a whole prison talk on that. You know what I'm saying? As far as, what was my experience at fire camp? Fire camp, okay, I did one on, CYA, a prison talk. Check it out, it's on the channel. And when I got, I did time for a home invasion. I did 2 years, 8 months. And basically, I went to Preston, which was gladiator school. Then from Preston, got to go to fire camp. Fire camp, I was at Washington Ridge. You'd be up there fighting fires in the hills and shit. When they had the Malibu fire, these big fires on the in California, they put you in these little fucking these like, what do you call it, prison type van things, and you go and you fight the fires, you dig fire lines and shit like that, cut down trees. I worked in the kitchen and did a bodybuilding show when I was in there. Did some art stuff and did my thing, got out, man, and moved on with my life. But fire camp, man, it was actually a good experience. But I was young, man. You 18, 19, 20, man. You don't have a fucking clue, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't really, with no mentor, man. You don't know what the fuck. You just living life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, somebody said, good with the prison spreads. And we're going to do more prison spreads, man. I'm trying to get another cook, man. Chef V, man, the homie's been busy, man. I've been trying to get him. He's got family shit going on, working, and I'm trying to get him, back on the show. And, you know what I mean? And, get him putting out some new ones, man. Somebody says, who's this? Somebody said, get to work outside. How do prisoners get to work outside the prison? Well, if you're at a camp, they're assuming you're not going to run from a camp because you got it good. So if you're at a camp, you're at the lowest of the low. There's no fences. There's one guard for 100 some inmates. So it's pretty wide open. They got people in the camp that drive into town. drop inmates off at the bus station, do runs, drive milk trucks at Lompoc, all kind of shit. So if you're at a camp, you can work outside the prison. You have low points, and it's not a big thing. Somebody said, would I date a porn star? Yeah, man, I wouldn't, if I wasn't married, I wouldn't have any issues. To me, man, motherfuckers get caught up in their feelings, man. But shit, if you know she a porn star, she a porn star. Why you gonna hate on her? A lot of dudes got so much anger because they can't fuck the broad. They mad because she won't give them no pussy. But if they were getting the pussy, then they wouldn't have an issue with it. But they want to call her a slut. Hey, man, if you're a female and you got you got the bomb body, you got the coochie, you got that little fire down there, and man, make your money, man. And I wouldn't be mad if a motherfucker was dating her. Each his own. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, real niggas don't let nobody near their ass. Oh, okay, I got you. So you don't let no broad lick your balls, and you don't let a broad suck on your penis, because your penis is pretty close to your ass. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, each his own, man. I'm a real nigga, and, you know what I'm saying, broad wants to lick my balls, and it slips by my butt. I don't have any, homosexual issues, so a lot of guys get all bent out of shape, but, ain't no objects going in my butt, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting no, whatever, but, hey, if you don't like your broad, putting her tongue by your butt, then, hey, more power to you, man. But, I keep it real, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and pretend, because you can go look at pornos and see, see me getting down, I'm busting them down. But somebody says, do guards shake you down? Yeah, they do. Depending on, usually you get shook down between the movements. Like if you're going, like, in prison, during the movements is every hour. So usually every hour you have a movement. The movement lasts 10 minutes, and you could be walking and a guard could tell you to come here. You got to come here. And basically they look at your shit, shake you down, and then keep it pushing. And that's a regular thing in prison. That's the thing, man. At any given time, a motherfucker can violate you. So, it's fucked up, but it's just part of prison. And, that's the thing I hate. One of the things I hated the most. And I'm so grateful that I have my liberties now, and I don't have to get shook down, and I can enjoy my freedoms. And like I say, man, I share this stuff with you guys, try to keep you guys, entertained, give you some real shit, and then throw some humor in there with it, have fun with it, be positive. But ain't nothing cool about prison, man. Ain't nothing cool about doing time. You know what I'm saying? Go to school, do something, man. If you can, like I tell them, you blessed with a big dick, go to porn. Shit, motherfuckers that give you a job, you got motherfucking schlong, because it's BBC videos. You know what I'm saying? So make your money. No different than a woman with a big ass and big tits. Hey, man, go make your money. So, whatever you are blessed with, go get your money, man. I'm not going to hate on you. Some people might hate, but I'm not going to hate. Yeah, man. Sometimes you can start your own. Somebody said, would you consider starting your own porn studio on the side? I still got homies in the porn industry that film, but, the way the industry is going, there's so much shit that's free now. And unless you got, like say a particular angle you're going to come at, whether it be a fetish angle, whether it be a MILF angle, whatever angle that you can exploit, make your money. And I'm giving you guys some game right now, because a lot of people want to be in a, people ask me all the time about getting in the porn industry, but I say there's no money. Males are just props. And you only make enough to barely make it, so you never make enough to really bubble. So unless you come into the industry and you're just going to shoot a lot of content and maybe try to start a channel and then basically buy up other channels and then try to create like some type of monopoly in a particular genre that people will subscribe to, because people still subscribe to some channels. But, I'm saying the porn industry is not like, it's not what it is. It's not what it was before. Like when I got into the industry back in 94, 95, it's not like that. It's changed, man. I see a lot of these cats when I got out of prison that were in the porn industry, man, they didn't have shit to show for it. I'm like, damn, nigga, you've been out here all this time and now you a security guard and you done fucked over, 4,000 or 5,000 women? It ain't like the NBA, man. You ain't getting no retirement, you ain't getting no endorsements, and you get no residual income. There's no SAG in porn. One scene, one paycheck, that's it. And somebody said, which porn star did I have the most from? I can't remember, man. A lot of times, unless I see a video, I'm like, I done forgot about it because it's like so long ago. And, when you knocking them down like that, you kind of lose track, you know what I'm saying? Lose count. But, I'll go ahead and you said the guards take advantage of their power to Peter gaze. Yeah. I'll ask you this last question. Somebody said, do guards take advantage of the power to Peter gaze? Now, it's no different like in, say, some prisons where there's a shower and you can see the guard station. That particular shower, and there's a female guard, that's a coveted shower. Because motherfucker will go use that shower, look at the female guard, and beat their meat in the shower. Now, that's a particular shower stall that's probably for one person because you ain't going to be beating your meat with another motherfucker next to you. But yeah, man, that's a big thing in there is being able to, fantasize and motherfuckers do it. I mean, you got a female guard and she comes on duty and certain motherfuckers is going to, fly mode, you know what I'm saying? It just, they go into their little, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's happening? Like they back on the streets and, hey, it's female companionship of any kind in prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if it's a fat broad. Fat broads start looking good. You know what I'm saying? The BBWs, you know what I'm saying? It's all good up in there. So, yeah, man, guard. And then, like I said, the male guards, that there's a lot of gay male guards, and they like working in the prison because they can look at Peters. They like to look at the PPs, man. They got the white PPs, the Mexican PPs. They got the black PPs, and they, you know what I'm saying? They like, to them, it's like, it's like a kid in a candy store looking at lollipops. So they looking at Peters in there all day, and they act like they're hard, but them be the same motherfuckers that's looking at that butt porn at home. You know what I'm saying? So the guards, man, there's a lot of homosexual male guards that are, you know what I'm saying, that are basically phallus worshiping in there. And those are the same guards that are actually, you know what I'm saying, probably cuckolding, letting motherfuckers bust their bras down. Because I ain't gonna lie, man, I'll tell you guys a quick story. Back in the days when I used to tell you guys about this whole, the porn game and blah, 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 and the cuckolds. I remember one time this dude, I went to a party, and this motherfucker was straight, I'll call him Kenny the Cop. Looked straight like a po-po, shaved hair. He looked like, you know what I'm saying, like one of the motherfuckers off of Black Lives Matter. He would have busted my head if it would have been on the street, crew cut, military. He was there with his wife. And his wife, you know what I'm saying, was getting broke down by probably 2 or 3 brothers. And I made sure that I broke her ass off. I made sure that, you know what I'm saying, I gave her some of that penitentiary dick. Because, I'm like, this is for all the motherfuckers you done pulled over and all the people that you done told them to squat and cough and you done punked. And they had no idea that I was an ex-felon. They had no idea. At this time, I was on probation. And, I used to go to swing parties and I tried to break her back. She had just had back surgery too. I was trying to throw that thing out of alignment. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, he was sitting right there watching and she was taking it. And she, I made sure that I had that head bobbling like one of those bobbleheads because, man, the po-po, I'm telling you, man, there's 2 things that bridge all gaps, drugs and sex. And motherfuckers, when they want to get high, it could be black, white, or Mexican. They'll get high together. And when they want to get some sex, it could be black, white, or Mexican. Sex is universal. So I'm saying it don't matter what color. If a motherfucker has a fantasy, especially that old BDC fantasy, hey, man, that shit, it could be, the motherfucker could be a cold racist. And I've seen dudes let their wives, cold hillbillies, let a brother bust their bras down. You know what I'm saying? Beat it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, man. It's just like that phenomenon with the big black penis going in the white vagina. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. The BBC, the cuckold. It's all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Check out the porn channels. But anyways, let's get into some shout outs. You know what I'm saying? I know I got to get nasty every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And keep it real, but I keep it real. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It was, shit was going down. Nigga had fun, and I don't regret busting down the po-pos. I also busted down a correctional officer too. busting it down. You know what I'm saying? But I have no shame in it. And hey, I don't mind sharing it with you guys. But anyways, let me get into the shout outs. Shout out to Eastern North Carolina. Shout out to the 209 Stockton. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to Sweden. Shout out to who else? Cape Town, South Africa. Shout out to Mexico City. Shout out to who else is that? Somebody said it was my penis size. Go look at the video. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie and say I had the biggest dick in the business, but I was getting paid, motherfucker. Shout out to Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Connecticut. Shout out to North Korea. Laugh out loud. Shout out to Pensacola. Shout out to Virginia, London. Shout out to Canton, Georgia. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Las Vegas. Maryland, Boston, Long Beach, Alabama, New Jersey. Koreatown, LA. The 504. Jamaica. South Germany. Shout out to Wilmington, California. Hawthorne. Jersey. Buckington, England. Scotland. Houston, Japan. Alabama. Kingston, Jamaica. New Orleans. Shout out to E-Town, Canada. Shout out to Arizona. Pakistan. South Carolina. Ireland. Connecticut. Hayward. Sacramento. Washington, San Diego. Shout out to Springfield, Massachusetts. Shout out to South Central, Texas, Brooklyn in the house, Delaware, Ontario, Canada, Chile, Atlanta. Shout out to New Jersey, 818. Hey man, Madagascar, Delaware, 856. Hey, 702. Shout out to all y'all, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of Prison Talk Live. You know, Australia, shout out to Beijing, Israel, India. I like to keep it real with you guys, keep you guys pumped up. Have a great week. You know, bust down some coochie, man. Become a coochie assassin. Be about your motherfucking coochie, man. Handle your business. Be a pussy terrorist. You know what I mean? Be a gangbanger on the motherfucking, on the Panani. A Panani gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? Get yours. Have fun. Enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Smile. Be happy. And if you're not getting laid, go get laid, man, because it'll make you feel better at the end of the day. This is Big Herc, Prison Talk Live. We'll be back again next Monday, 3 p.m. I'm not sure of the subject yet, but it will be cracking. I'll have something interesting for y'all so that y'all can sit in front of your screens, and if you want to beat your meat, talk shit, whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. So let's get it cracking next week. Same time, same channel. Tune in. Big Herc, Prison Talk Live. I'm out.